Every once in a while, a single technical document just lands, and it ignites this firestorm, not with some big controversy, but with an idea so interesting that it pulls everyone in, builders, thinkers, critics, to debate the future of how we handle knowledge. Today, we're jumping right into one of those moments, the idea of the LLM Wiki. Okay, let's just get right to the heart of it, because we've all been there, right? You feed a bunch of documents to a super powerful AI, you have this amazing, deep conversation, and then, the next day, poof, it's forgotten everything. It has to start from scratch, relearning, rereading, every single time. There's no compounding knowledge. It's like having an incredibly powerful brain with a case of permanent amnesia. So, into this problem steps the famed AI researcher Andrej Karpathy. He drops a gist on GitHub, not some finished product, just a pattern, an idea for a solution. But it was an idea that a passionate community of developers basically decided to put on trial, publicly stress testing every little assumption, and in the process, actually forging something totally new. So, before we can really dig into the proposed solution, we've got to get a good handle on the problem itself. The way we currently get AIs to work with our documents has a massive fundamental flaw baked right in. It's a system called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG for short. The best way to think about it is like this. Every time you ask a question, the AI dips a sieve into your pool of documents, grabs a few relevant little nuggets, and gives you an answer. But as soon as it's done, it just throws the nuggets back in the pool. The knowledge doesn't stick. It has to start all over again every single time. Right, so what Karpathy put out there wasn't just some little tweak to RAG. No way. It was a completely different philosophy, one designed from the ground up to create what he called a compounding artifact of knowledge. And here's the core idea, straight from the source. Instead of just searching through a big pile of raw documents, the LLM actively builds and maintains its own structured knowledge base, its very own wiki. So when a new document comes in, it's not just filed away. The AI reads it, understands it, and then actually weaves those new insights into the existing structure, updating summaries and cross-referencing everything. And the architecture he proposed is actually beautifully simple. You've got 3 layers. Layer 1 is your original documents, untouched, the raw source of truth. Layer 2 is the wiki itself, a bunch of Markdown files written and managed entirely by the LLM. And finally, layer 3 is the schema. That's basically the rule book that you help create, telling the AI how to be a good, disciplined wiki librarian. Now, what's so cool about this setup is the partnership it creates. Our job, the human's job, is all of the fun stuff, curating the information, asking the big questions, directing the whole analysis. And the LLM, it gets stuck with all the tedious bookkeeping that makes most human-run wikis eventually fall apart. It does the grunt work so the knowledge base actually stays useful. This really elegant idea landed like a spark in a tinderbox. The GitHub comment section just exploded. And not just with praise, but with some incredibly sharp, really insightful critiques. The idea was officially on trial. And wow, the prosecution did not hold back. This one comment from a user named GNU Support just perfectly captured the passionate resistance. And what was the central charge? That this thing Karpathy was describing, it wasn't a wiki at all. It was some kind of perversion of the whole idea. And this table just lays out the case perfectly. A real wiki, the argument goes, is built on things you can trust. Human curation, version history, a clear audit trail. You know where every piece of information came from. The LLM wiki, on the other hand, was seen as a black box. There's no audit trail. The source is basically, trust me, I'm the LLM. And the whole structure was so brittle that just renaming a single file could break everything. So all these critiques really boil down to 4 major problems. First, a total loss of trust. How do you verify a summary the LLM just made up? Second, instability. Letting an AI make big structural decisions is just a recipe for chaos. Third, scalability. Sure, this might work for 10 files, but what about 10,000? And finally, drift. The wiki could slowly become more and more wrong over time, without anyone ever noticing. And this quote, from a commenter named Foodelv, just nails the philosophical heart of the whole argument. The biggest danger wasn't just that the LLM might get a fact wrong. It was about giving it the power to make these huge, foundational decisions about the very structure of the knowledge. That requires human judgment, and when you automate it, you just get instability. But this is where the story gets really, really cool. Because the community didn't just tear the idea down and walk away. They started building it back up, but stronger. They took the raw materials of Karpathy's idea and started forging something new and way more robust. A whole new philosophy started to emerge. The original idea was basically LLM, you do all the grunt work. The new, evolved idea was much more of a partnership. It says, okay, human, you define the stable structure. You build the skeleton. Then, LLM, you come in and do what you do best. Enrich that structure, find connections, write summaries. You get stability plus intelligence. And how do you do that? Well, a major alternative that kept coming up was moving away from simple text files and towards something called a knowledge graph. Instead of a messy folder, think of it more like a structured mind map. Concepts are the nodes, and the lines connecting them, the edges, explicitly define the relationships. It's just a much more stable, machine-friendly way to organize knowledge. And this was the result, a brand new toolbox of ideas. It wasn't just knowledge graphs. People proposed using immutable notes, where you never overwrite old information, you just link to it, creating a perfect audit trail. They talked about systems that have contradiction tracking built right in, and crucially, always having a human in the loop to authorize any big changes, keeping the whole system grounded in reality. This metaphor from commenter SEO warlord is just perfect. It captures the whole shift in thinking. The LLM shouldn't be secretly rewriting pages in the encyclopedia. No, it should be acting like a great librarian, creating new index cards and essays that point back to the original truth. It creates a reliable, auditable trail of knowledge. So, why does one single debate on GitHub matter so much? Because it's a perfect little microcosm of one of the absolute biggest challenges we're facing in AI today. It all comes down to this fundamental tension. If you rely only on humans to organize knowledge, it's just too slow. It doesn't scale. But if you rely only on LLM automation, you get something unstable that you can't fully trust. The goal, the holy grail that this entire debate was searching for, is that perfect hybrid approach, the one that gives you both stability and intelligence. And this isn't just about organizing your personal notes. We're talking about building the corporate brains of the future, the scientific discovery platforms, the personal assistants that really know you. We are trying to build systems that learn and grow with us, systems that don't just retrieve facts, but actually compound wisdom over time. And that leaves us with this final really big thought. The evolution of this single idea, from a simple pattern to this sophisticated hybrid architecture, it shows us the path forward. It's a path toward a future where our knowledge systems aren't just passive databases we look things up in, but are active, intelligent partners in the process of thinking itself.